Dear students, today we are going to discuss about nervous system. The basic unit of nervous system is neuron. Neuron is a single cell with cell body and centrally located a nucleus and a long transmitting fiber called axon and dendrites. The dendrites are the fibers where the information is given into the neuron through these dendrites. So adjacent to the cell body, it is called axon hillock. Here only the action potentials are generated. The main branches in the axon, it is called collaterals. So most of the axons are coated with a coating called myelin. So it is called myelin sheeted. So the axon is ended with nerve ending fiber. This is what is nerve ending fiber. So here two neurons are shown in this diagram. The interconnection of the two neurons, it is called synapse. The interconnection of two neurons is called synapse. So the both axon, long transmitting fiber, dendrites, where the inputs are given into the neuron, these two are called nerve fiber. The bundle of individual nerve fiber, it is called nerves. So what is meant by nerve fiber? So the dendrites and axon put together, it is called nerve fiber. So bundle of individual nerve fiber is called nerves. So once again I explain this. So the basic unit of nerve system is neuron. Neuron consists of a single cell with the cell body. Center, it consists of nucleus, and dendrites where the input is given into the neuron. Long transmitting fiber, it is called axon. It is ended with nerve ending fibers. So in this diagram, two neurons are shown. The interconnection of neuron is called synapse. Most of the neurons are coated with a flatty suspense. It is called myelin. It is called myelin sheeted. The main branches in the axon, it is called collaterals. So the axon and dendrites are called nerve fiber. Bundle of individual nerve fiber is called nerve. Then how the neuronal communication takes place? The neuronal communication, it is in spike. So if you go through this diagram, it is spike in nature. So this is called neuronal spike. The action potential conduction in neuron is a neuronal spike. It is also called saltatory conduction. The neuronal conduction is spike in nature. It is also called saltatory conduction. So now we are going to see how the action potential transfer from one neuron to another neuron. Older theory states that the action potential generated in one neuron, or when the cell is excited, neuron is excited, the action potential transmitted through axon, when it reaches the nerve end, the electrical potential that excites the nearby cell or nearby neuron. But later theory states that it is not electrical in nature, there is a chemical that is producing. For example, when this neuron is excited or it is so action potential in this neuron that will transmit through this axon and reach the nerve ending. When it reaches the nerve ending, there is a chemical called acetylcholine. The chemical name is acetylcholine. That chemical is generated. That chemical transmits through this synapse. That means interconnection of neuron. That's called synapse. So the acetylcholine transmitted through this synapse and excites the nearby cell. Once the nearby cell is excited, or nearby neuron is excited, then another substance is called acetylcholine esterase. There is a chemical called acetylcholine esterase that breaks the acetylcholine. So this is what the neuronal communication takes place between one neuron to another neuron. It is chemically, it is transmitting the information or action potential from one neuron to another neuron. Once the action potential reaches the nerve ending, there is a chemical called acetylcholine that flows through the synapse. That means interconnection of two neurons, that's called synapse, flows through this synapse and excite the nearby neuron. Once the nearby neuron is excited, immediately a substance called acetylcholinesterase. So that chemical that breaks down the acetylcholine. The nerve system, it is broadly classified into two types. One is called central nerve system and the other one is called peripheral nerve system. The central nerve system means the brain and the spinal cord. That put together it is called central nerve system. The peripheral nerve system means nerve fibers outside the central nerve system. That is nerve fibers other than brain and spinal cord. That's called peripheral nerve system. There are two major classifications of nerve system. One is central nerve system, the brain and the spinal cord. Both called as central nerve system. Nerve fibers outside the central nerve system, it is called peripheral nerve system. The major divisions of peripheral nerve system are, one is afferent nerve. Afferent nerve means the sensory information from various parts of our body is taken into brain through this afferent nerve. So afferent nerve that carries in sensory information from various parts of our body to the brain. That's called afferent nerves. Another one is called efferent nerves. So efferent nerves are sensory nerves that carries information from brain to various parts of our body. So efferent nerves is a sensory nerves that carries in sensory information from brain to various parts of our body. So another major division of peripheral nerve system is autonomic nerve system. So another major division of peripheral nerve system is autonomic nerve system. Autonomic nerve system, so that involves emotional response and control of smooth muscles. The autonomic nerve system, so that involves in the emotional response as well as control of smooth muscles. So this autonomic nerve system that is divided into again two types. It is called sympathetic nerve system and parasympathetic nerve system. So what do you mean by sympathetic nerve system? So when you are running, what will happen? The heartbeat increases. So that is done by sympathetic nerve system. So increasing a heartbeat. So when you are running or when you are seeing an accident, immediately our heartbeat increases. So that will be done by this sympathetic nerve system and parasympathetic nerve system. So when we are running, our heartbeat increases. When you are come to rest, heartbeat comes to the rest state. So that is done by parasympathetic nerve system. Sympathetic nerve system that increase the heart rate, but parasympathetic nerve system that normalize the heart rate. So these are the major divisions of autonomic nerve system.